I'm Adora Thayer of the North Carolina General Assembly's Program Evaluation Division. Session Law 2019-250 directed PED to evaluate the Department of Public Safety's coordination with nonprofit organizations for disaster preparedness, which consist of activities that seek to build, sustain, and improve operational capacity to respond to disasters. PED found that coordination is good, but can be improved with some additional actions.
An example of a disaster preparedness activity would be the development of a state emergency operations plan or recovery framework that outlines roles and responsibilities of governmental and non-governmental organizations involved in managing disasters. DPS's Division of Emergency Management, which I'll refer to as NCEM, is the state's go-to agency during disasters. Other statewide entities that coordinate for disasters include NCVOAD, an umbrella group made up of public, private, and nonprofit volunteer organizations that are active in every phase of a disaster. Local groups also play an important role in disaster management. They have several advantages over statewide organizations, such as better awareness of the resources available in a community. The two primary types of local groups are community organizations active in disasters, or COADs, which focus on preparedness, and long-term recovery groups, or LTRGs, which focus on recovery. In this report, PED found that NCEM's coordination with nonprofit volunteer organizations can be improved with better engagement during disaster preparedness.
PED found some evidence that coordination is performed well. For example, there are strong physical indicators of coordination, like dedicated work areas for nonprofits at the State Emergency Operations Center.
However, we also found that local governments want more assistance from NCEM on how to coordinate with nonprofits, while nonprofits stress the need for more communication and training. The evaluation also found that some nonprofit volunteer organizations did not know whether they were included in state preparedness plans, had not received copies of planning documents, or did not agree to being included. In response, PED recommends that the General Assembly require NCEM to distribute preparedness plans to nonprofit volunteer organizations, verify that these groups know and agree to their roles and responsibilities, and explore the use of memoranda of understanding. PED also found that local governments struggle in coordinating with statewide nonprofit partners and local nonprofit coordinating groups. In response, the General Assembly should direct NCEM to provide guidance to local emergency management agencies to improve coordination with nonprofit volunteer organizations. Finally, North Carolina lacks a dedicated voluntary agency liaison, or VAL for short. VALs represent a bridge between government and nonprofits. They ensure nonprofits are engaged and that information reaches stakeholders. VAL positions can be fully funded with federal monies through the Emergency Management Performance Grant. Having at least one VAL at the state level is considered a best practice. NCEM has one position designated to fulfill this role, but VAL-related activities only represent a portion of the position's duties. The agency has recently announced the establishment of a dedicated VAL position, yet the essential job functions of this position do not resemble the job functions of a dedicated VAL, suggesting an oversight mechanism is needed. As a result, the General Assembly should direct NCEM to report on the effectiveness of its VAL activities. This report can be viewed in its entirety at www.ncledge.gov/PED.